Welcome to Via Voices, the podcast dedicated to exploring the many facets of assisted living and memory care. In each episode, we will delve into a range of educational topics featuring expert guests, real-life stories, and practical tips and guidance to empower seniors and their families. Via Voices is your trusted resource for making informed decisions when it comes to senior living. Welcome back to Via Voices. Today, we're delighted to talk about food, one of my favorite subjects. And we're talking today with Jeremy Montoya, who's the Culinary and Facility Director for Via Elegante, and Crystal Vargas, who's the Culinary and Facility Director for Via Elegante. Jeremy runs Tucson, Crystal runs Sierra Vista. So welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Ready to talk about food?
Always.
All right. So let's start off with just a quick introduction. So Crystal, can you tell us a little bit about how you found yourself enjoying food and why you're what you like about this position?
Okay, so I started cooking when I was 7 years old. My mother is a chef and kind of passed along the traits to me. I just was in the industry many times, tried to get out. That didn't work. And it kept calling me back. So I finally decided to just go to culinary school and hone in on that really, truly. And ever since, I've never left and love every day, every minute of it. So
That's nice. It's not work if you like what you're doing. Correct?
not at all. Not at all. I enjoy every minute of every day of it.
That's wonderful. And Jeremy?
So I started cooking back in, I would say, when I was 16. Funny story is I went into home economics because it was the only cooking program they had. They didn't have a culinary program. It was home economics. But I was interested in cooking. Wasn't too thrilled about the sewing, but I was excited about the cooking aspect of it. Just found a passion for it. Worked under some chefs. Decided to go to Scottsdale Le Cordon Bleu. Went there, got a great education. Worked for many chefs. I just found a passion for it. I always stayed at a job for like 2 years working under a chef. And then when I learned what I could, I moved on to another chef. And then I found my calling actually coming into where I'm currently working now with assisted living. I think it's great seeing the smiles on residents' faces when they have a great meal. And I always think about if my mother was in an assisted living facility, how would I cook for her?
And I know you've been in your current position for over 10 years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. 10
so
years.
You bounce around a lot and then learn a lot, and then now you're teaching others, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And Crystal, you've been with us for how long?
Almost a year now.
Almost a year now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've come right to the top and really done a great job. So,
I love it. I love every minute.
So what is your favorite meal to prepare for the residents, the senior population that you now take care of?
I truly like the Italian meals. We have a meal that is a caprese chicken, and I absolutely love that one. Not just for the flavor, but because of how beautiful it is when we put it out. So it's just really, really nice.
Great.
Presentation.
And Jeremy, you have a favorite?
I would say the pot roast and mashed potatoes. I know the residents really love the pot roast and mashed potatoes. It's good home cooking, and they enjoy that.
I remember once somebody wanting liver and onions, if I remember correctly, and you saying, okay, so you made liver and onions for everybody. What percentage of the people like liver and onions?
I would say about 50-50. 50%. Yeah, it was 50-50.
Okay.
Impressive.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Okay. So what do you do to accommodate people that don't like what's being made for the day? How do you make them happy?
We either make a substitute, we'll do a nice chicken dish, or like a soup. We'll offer a soup alternative for the ones that don't want it. We also can make sandwiches, salads, tossed green salad with their choice of dressing. So we always offer an alternative for those.
Got it. And when you're cooking for a lot of people at one time. Is that correct?
Absolutely. In my house, we cook for 120 at a time.
Okay.
So we have to take into consideration everybody's dietary needs and all of that.
So that's a challenge because it's not like there's a restaurant that operates at the assisted living where people look at a menu and have to make decisions. I know in memory care, it's challenging to decide to make a decision off a menu, A, to read it if you're a resident there, and then B, to decide what you like. And sometimes not having to make a choice is the easiest thing. Oh, here's the meal. And I know we try to do different colors on the meal to help people. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, a lot of times we'll say carrots, for instance, they're predominantly orange, but there are rainbow carrots to add that different perspective on the plate. So the eye looks at it and sees just a little bit different. I mean, we eat with our eyes. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And there's a reason we have blue plates when we serve to the residents, because there have been studies that shown that residents with Alzheimer's and dementia will be more likely to eat off a blue plate than a regular white plate.
Got it. So that's where the term blue plate special comes from?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Great. All right. And then for holidays, I know that's a special time. I know we just had Valentine's Day and I was back in the kitchen and both of you were like busy making strawberries, chocolate covered strawberries. Can you tell me more about like what you do for holidays that make it special, or how you try to make holidays special?
Yeah, so holidays, we always try to do a special menu. COVID was a big challenge for us with holidays. Before COVID, we used to do buffet setup. We'd have a carving station. Families would come in and enjoy. But with COVID coming on, we still do great menus, beautiful menus, but we serve it, with the residents in their homes, their current homes. And we do like prime rib we've done for Christmas. We did a maple glazed salmon for Valentine's Day. We always do something for St. Patrick's Day, corned beef, cabbage. 4th of July, we do a barbecue. Thanksgiving, they have their feast of turkey, mash, the whole fixings. And it's nice to see the smiles on their faces when the families come in and join them, and it's a beautiful thing.
Food is so important, and there are 3 meals a day, and many times that's the highlight of the day is what you're having to eat. So how it's presented, how it's prepared, how it tastes, its temperature, it's all extremely important to enhance the lives of the people that are living there. So
Absolutely.
great.
And I think with a challenge for us as chefs was when we came into assisted living was the purees and the mechanicals, chopping up food. Because as chefs, we're not used to blending up food and, serving a puree. But we are learning to adjust and figure out how can we serve a puree to a resident that's something nice, rather than just all thrown in a cup and blend it up. We want to do something different and make it nicer.
So that's one thing that you do differently for seniors that might be having some swallowing problems and, still want to have a balanced meal, but they have it pureed, and you prepare that for them, and then the caregivers serve that. Is that how that works?
Yes, sir. That's how it works.
Okay, very good. And what else do you do differently for seniors when you're preparing food? Do you use different ingredients or?
So a lot of our residents have a low sodium diet, and as chefs, we love salt. We put salt on everything, but we've had to make adjustments to that because, we use no salt seasonings that come prepared, and it's a special blend of seasonings without salt that we add to vegetables instead of the salt content. So that has been a challenge. Is the salt content of food, because we love our salt. I mean, Absolutely. Salt, pepper, you got to have it on everything.
Need it.
Right.
But this type of entity, this crowd, they can't have it because it, for health reasons, will either spike their blood pressure or spike whatever. So it's just imperative that we keep that in mind first and foremost.
So 3 meals a day, 365 days a year. That's a lot of meals to prepare for the people that live there. So what do you do to keep it fresh and exciting?
Change. Constantly fluctuating the meals so that there's not so much stagnant. And then, they're there every single day. Like you said, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So they need to have that sense of as if they weren't in a home, so that, they go out. We, as normal individuals, go out to eat, like on an occasion. These individuals can't, so they need to feel that way, so that they're treated the same as if they were going out to eat in a restaurant. They have that same sense of freedom, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and piggybacking off that, yeah, it's just changing the menu. Instead of just doing a 4-week menu, like rotating 6 weeks, have a 6-week rotating menu instead of a 4-week rotating menu.
And I know we work hard on balancing the diet, right? So when you're in memory care and you're in assisted living, you're focused on your 3 meals a day. So breakfast is pretty straightforward. There's always something fun for breakfast to find, like a waffle or pancakes or a quiche or something like that. And then there's the basic bacon, eggs, and everything else that comes standard. And I know in the way we're set up in memory care is that the caregivers will plate and serve the food for their residents. So they know if they like a lot or a little, and they know what they like for breakfast. And that's one of the nice things about being in memory care is the caregivers get to know you and know what you like to eat and don't have to ask you, oh, how do you like your coffee? Do you like it with cream? Do you like it with sugar? It's not like a wait staff.
Right.
It's like home. So if you're taking care of mom at home and then bring her to assisted living, you already know what mom likes to eat. We're all pretty consistent when it comes to breakfast and the 2 or 3 things that we like for breakfast. And then I know that lunch is a little heavier and dinner is a little lighter. Why do we do that, Jeremy?
Because lighter meals for dinner, it's easier to, residents don't get as full, they don't feel as full. It's a lighter meal for them. It's easier for them to go to bed. I found out over time they go to sleep easier. There's not as much issues with their diet, like when they're going to the restroom at night, and there's a lot of issues with that. But if they have a heavy meal at lunch, it's easier for them to sleep at night. I've kind of figured out over time. And then I know, and so going to diabetics is a big thing with our facility. We got to be careful on what we serve diabetics. We do have a lot of sugar-free options that we offer. We are going to like a wheat pasta, wheat rice, as that helps with diabetes. A lot of proteins, vegetables. So we're not serving fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn. You don't want to have a lot of corn has carbs. So we do a vegetable or like a nice spinach salad for them instead of that corn option.
Right. And I know with diabetes, sugar-free doesn't mean that you can eat as much as you want and not have your blood sugar spike up. So it's really just preparing quality food and making sure the portions are correct and that you're not over-carbing.
I was just going to say that. Something that most people don't realize is that carbs turn to sugars. So it matters how much carbs you intake, especially for someone who is a diabetic, that they cannot have a ton of carbs because then their sugars spike.
Right.
So that's just something that not everybody knows, but that's something that you learn over time.
And there are carbs in sugar-free. There's still carbs.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Yeah.
Right. So someone uneducated on diabetes, oh, this is sugar-free, have as much as you want. And the answer is no, you really can't do that. You have to balance it. I know someone with diabetes who's like, I'd rather have a small piece of real cherry pie than a bigger piece of sugar-free cherry pie.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
And come out the right way. And then I know that residents are there and getting their 3 meals a day. And does anybody have favorites, and how do they request a favorite? Jeremy?
Oh, man. I would say, yeah, we do get requests for chef salad is actually a big one we get requests for. And they do love their chef salad. So we do offer them a chef salad, hard-boiled egg, sliced turkey, ham, cheese, choice of dressing they want. And that's a big request we actually get from a lot of residents.
And has anybody ever given you a recipe, or a family member given you a recipe that this is mom's favorite dish, or this is how we do it? Has that ever happened?
It has, actually. I've come into the kitchen and been told, hey, we really would like to try this. Can we? Of course, absolutely. Well, more than be happy to to oblige that. Absolutely.
And how do you deal with our current inflationary times? And I know right now we're dealing with the cost of eggs. What's happened to the cost of eggs?
Eggs have jumped up dramatically. Like we were paying $45 for 15 dozen eggs. It's now at $145 last time I checked.
Wow.
An increase. As chefs, we have to adjust. We have to find alternatives. What can we use in place of it? And that's a challenge. And that's a good challenge, honestly. I think it's great. Like, it's one of those things that if you're not challenged, then why are you currently in your job? You have to be challenged every day, and that's
right. And your challenges are making sure everyone loves the food, making sure it tastes great, making sure it's plated correctly, and making sure that it's running within a budget. So
Exactly.
all of that is a balance of a day-to-day operation.
Yep.
So is there like a popular meal that people like the most?
Meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Truly.
Yep, that is their staple. Meatloaf, I mean, your traditional home cooking. Chipped beef, they love chipped beef.
Oh, they love chipped beef.
Huh.
And yeah, so those are like their things they love.
I remember when I first got started in this, which was quite some time ago, everybody would like when we had hot dogs and hamburgers. And it's like, well, we can't have that every night. So we
Right.
have to balance that. We have to make those special because that wouldn't be healthy to have a hot dog every night. But that's something people like. Also, their favorite ice creams. Desserts. Let's talk about desserts. What's a favorite dessert for people?
Root beer floats. That's great. They love their root beer
They
floats.
do. They truly love those.
That's like their staple is root beer floats. Yeah. And I would say root beer floats, and they like the tres leches. They do like the tres
Love the
leches.
tres leches.
Tres leches.
Yes.
So what is that?
It is a milk cake, basically.
Okay.
That's what it translates to. So we in Sierra Vista use a spice cake. So that adds a little dimension to the flavor. And then it's condensed milk, and it's kind of a wet cake is what it really is, with the topping, frosting. But they love it. They love every minute of it.
Right. And don't we have a Taco Tuesday?
Oh yeah, Taco Day. Yes, they do love their Taco Day.
Yeah.
Taco Tuesday. Going on to talking about residents' food and what they like and what we try to do differently. Silver Chef, there's a competition throughout Tucson called Silver Chef. We choose a dish, we create a dish, we face other assisted living facility executive chefs. I learned over time, I grew up on a Navajo reservation, so we use a lot of juniper ash, blue cornmeal for a lot of cooking. I didn't really understand the benefits from it, the health benefits from it, until I started work at Via Elegante. I started researching it a little bit more. Why did we use this? Juniper ash actually has a lot of calcium in it. That is equivalent to milk. So, and a lot of Navajos, on the research I did, are lactose intolerant. So they couldn't have that milk. So they substituted with juniper ash, which I did incorporate into Silver Chef meal, and it turned out really great.
I think it turned out so great that you actually won the Silver
Yes, I did.
Chef.
Yep. With Crystal's help, she was my sous chef, so we ended up winning. So it was great.
That's great. So that's a pretty prestigious award here in Arizona. That is a lot of the assisted living chefs get together and have a competition. It's kind of like the Iron Chef, right? It's like judged and
Yep.
people taste everything. And I think you won twice. Is that correct?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah,
Yep.
very good. Very good. As we're looking at food that people like, I know someone who had a grandmother that liked to have beer and pizza regularly. And that was like the highlight of her day. So they would take her to a pizza place and get a beer. And she made it to 99. So it can't be that bad of a diet that way. So how do we deal with alcohol in assisted living and memory care? If somebody wants a drink and they're used to a drink, are they allowed to have it? Are they restricted? How does that work?
So with alcohol, they're allowed to have it, but we try to go with the non-alcoholic beers, which they still get the taste from the beer, and we do offer them a non-alcoholic beer along with their meal, and most of the time they enjoy it. And it gives you that beer flavor you want.
Yeah, I know for Super Bowl Sunday, we actually did give out some 0% non-alcoholic beer. And one of our residents actually was like, "Oh, I had too much. That was just too much for me." 0%. But, it was the flavor that he likes, and he enjoyed every minute of it. There
That's
was no
great.
alcohol.
And I also know that if the doctor prescribes alcohol, you can have alcohol in assisted living and memory care. So it just takes a doctor prescription and then it's administered like a medication would be administered. I remember a gentleman who got a Jim Beam on the rocks every night at 4 o'clock when the news started. Every night at 4 o'clock, but every day at 4 o'clock, he got his happy hour Jim Beam on the rocks, and that was the highlight of his day, and he was allowed to have that through his whole stay there.
Yeah.
And it just all we need is a doctor prescription for alcohol, and it's allowed at assisted living and memory care.
Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation. So you mentioned before that you were at a bunch of different jobs until you landed at Via Elegante. Same with you, that like preparing meals for seniors makes you feel good when you go home at night and knowing that they're getting great food. But the other thing is you have a staff that you work with. And I know for me, helping people grow in their careers brings a lot of joy to everything that we do. So I know that, Jeremy, you had this great background and then you came in and you started at the bottom and worked your way up to the top. So can you tell us about the hierarchy in a kitchen? I know I've watched some TV shows about that, but how does it work in a kitchen? How does one rise up the chain of command in a kitchen?
So the hierarchy of a kitchen is like a military. You have your executive chef, who's your general, oversees the whole department. You have your sous chef that oversees the kitchen operations, making sure everything's running properly in the kitchen, everything from sanitation to labeling of food, quality of food going out. And then you have your lead cook under there. That's their right-hand man. And then you go below that. So with the executive chef has a big responsibility of making sure it comes down to food cost, where prices are going up, what can we change? And the sous chef is your boots on the ground. He or she is the one that is making sure everything is done correctly. So for myself, I started off as a dishwasher. I had tons of experience. I just wanted to do the dishwashing. I was actually going back to school at the time. And then I found out Via was a great company. I'm like, I see the potential in expansion. Like, I really do. I mean, Andy came to me and he's like, I'm going to open a facility in Tucson, in 2 years. In my head, I'm like, okay, you're really going to open it? Okay, sure. Guess what? 2 years later, I'm looking at he's taking me on a tour through Tucson Mountains, our current facility in Tucson, the big facility we have. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a great career. And I moved into executive chef in Sierra Vista and came up to Tucson, became regional culinary director. Threw me into facilities. I became regional culinary and facilities director. I have grown a lot. I've learned a lot when it comes to the facility side. And as staffing, we try to keep our staff happy. We work with them on their schedule. We pay a decent wage, we pay a good wage. And it's like, that's how you retain staff, is keep them happy, compliment them, show them that, they're appreciated. And at the end of the day, they will work hard for you if you work hard for them.
And I'll piggyback off of that. They work hard for you if they see that you're willing to step in and do the exact same thing. If you have no problem as an executive chef getting in the thick of things and working and grinding, your staff appreciates that. And then you appreciate them for that, right? So there's that give and take, but they have to feel that. They have to feel that you're okay and that you know what you're doing and that you've got their back 110%. I know all of my staff, every single one of them, works very, very hard, and I appreciate everything they do. And in the thick of things, if they're out, I'm willing to jump in there and do exactly what they do on a daily basis.
And I think having staff work with you that love what they do is imperative, right? You love what you do, so it's not like work. So how does somebody who's washing dishes love what they do?
You have to teach them, because I know for me down in Sierra Vista, we have my dish guys are like, this is their first job. They've never had a job ever. So getting to learn the dish pit and learning that kind of element and all of the things that go along with it, it's baby steps, right? We have to slowly introduce the prep side of things, right? They don't know that, so you have to teach them, and they'll never know that if they don't have someone above them that knows to embrace them and come alongside them and say, here we go, let's learn this. This is a new step today. And that it's just something that doesn't come along, but we've always been that.
It's nice to be a mentor to help. I know we have somebody who started when they were like 16 in the kitchen, and now they're 21, and they've been with us a long time, and we've helped them grow and foster professionalism and ethics, and I think they're on their way. I also know that when I first met you, I said, what do you want to do someday? Beyond our company. And you're like, well, I want to have a restaurant. I want to open up a restaurant and use the culinary experience that I have from the Navajo Nation to bring something really cool to the world. And I was like, that sounds great. Let's learn a lot about everything it takes to run a company. So when you have a restaurant one day, it will you'll know everything about it, not just the preparing the food side of things, because there's a lot more to it than that. So I'll just put it down that's going to happen someday. Yeah. So that's great.
And that's been the great part about learning the facility sides of the operation is there's more than just cooking to owning a restaurant. You'll have roof leaks. You'll have, fire inspections. There's zoning. There's code. I'm learning from Andy as I've been with the company. There's a lot more than just the food part of owning a restaurant. And it's exciting to learn as I'm going.
Great. All right. Well, we appreciate you listening in today, and we look forward to the next Via Voices podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to and watching Via Voices, the podcast dedicated to exploring the many facets of assisted living and memory care. If you found today's episode informative, be sure to subscribe and tell a friend about us. We look forward to having you join us next time on Via Voices.